This is my 2009 Series 2 RX-8 that I've been fixing up with friends. It makes all the right noises, and one of my favorite things about it is this huge turbo and Bridgeport engine. Now that we have most of the mechanical issues fixed, it's time to sort out this body kit. I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of this front bumper. Personally, I do like the original S2 bumper that was on the car, but I especially love the R3 front bumper. And I asked Kay Mura from Rocket Bunny to make the missing pieces for the R3 front and then went searching for one. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any in good condition and for a fair price, so I did get an idea. Why not pick up an RX-8 front bumper while I'm in Japan? And I instantly added the side quest to hunt down a used front bumper while I was at Tokyo Auto Salon, and I went to a resale store called Up Garage. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard of this place. They sell a lot of used parts for a good price, and guess what? They had one for $150 and they delivered it to my hotel. Usually in the US, this thing complete with fog lights and everything is around $1,000 if it's not smashed up from an accident. And I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna be able to check it on the plane, but I'm gonna do my best, and if that doesn't work, well, I don't know. Wish me luck. When I got home, I realized it wasn't the R3 front bumper, but it was the same Series 2 bumper that the car originally had. So I'll have to deal with changing the front at another time because I have this semi-repaired body kit that needs a lot of attention, and that means visiting another friend. Now, who else better to go to than Jack Builds It's new shop? Now, Jack has spent years fixing crash cars and he's a master of his craft. He really needs no introduction, but you might know him from cars that he's done with Matt Armstrong and Tavarish. And I'm here to get advice how to prep my Rocket Bunny parts for paint, and let's go. All right, we're back with another video, and here's the RX-8. It's beautiful. We swapped the rotary engine for a 2JZ.
It's reliable now.
And there's a lot of truth to that. And Jack decided to paint the RX-8 this lovely green.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this is the Supra, and you know, you're here with the parts from the RX-8. So I think you said you left off with the fiberglass repair.
Yeah, so Michael LC gave me some homework. He came by to help with fiberglass work because I don't know how to do that. And he said, all right, you're on your own. Well, I noticed there was a lot of stuff, sorry, Michael, a lot of stuff that was left out, a lot of cracks, we need more fiberglass work for it.
Yeah.
And I can't exactly do that in my garage, but I know someone who can, who's probably the best at it, and that's Jack.
No.
What's up, man?
So when Tommy asked me to help him with this, I said, of course, because recently we just did something together over on another channel where I helped him and Greg. It's called Salazar's Cars, and we did a refresh on the front end of a GTR. Now, I went there and said, this is how you do it, but I'm not gonna do it. And they kind of looked at me sideways like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're gonna do everything. I'm just gonna point you in the direction. You're gonna go. And that's kind of like what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna point you in the direction.
I would love that.
And you're gonna handle the rest. And then I'll come behind you and I'll go, okay, do this or this or this. And then I'm gonna send you home with some homework because I saw that he has some fading carbon over there, so.
And hopefully I get all that work done, and at the end, we'll take it to paint. So let's get to work.
Good luck.
All right, so I brought all my junk into Jack's shop, and these are all the parts that need to get worked on, but I don't really know what needs what, so Jack's gonna take a look.
Okay, so
what do you
see
think?
Fiberglass, I see carbon fiber. We got, you know, what's the guy say? Carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
So right away, I'm looking at this deck lid and it's pretty rough.
So I asked the guy, dude, I was like, hey, I need another trunk. He had a trunk on Facebook. Is it perfect? He said, yeah, it's perfect. It just needs paint.
Yeah. So he lied.
Oh,
he lied.
No, I got burned.
When you kind of get your head down here, you can see across this whole thing, it's very wavy. And one of the indicators of bodywork being on things is sand scratches. And I've noticed, I don't know if you're gonna be able to pick it up on camera, but right in this section right there, there's these little hooks.
Oh, man.
And those circular hooks right there are called pigtails. And that's from when you take a DA and you're sanding and it grabs something that's a little more coarse than the actual sandpaper on the dual action sander.
Oh, no.
And it sits there and grooves into it.
Oh, no.
So yeah, with the paint failing, it's shrinking. I can see sand scratches. So this thing has definitely been bodyworked and it's not perfect. And that you could probably find yourself a better used one.
Yeah, I think this
for
was like
the amount of work this is going to need.
75 bucks or 100 bucks.
It looks like it. It looks like it was. I think if you wanted to fix this, you can absolutely do it. It's going to take you a long time. I could guide you through it, but you're going to basically be wiping body filler from end to end after you tap down, like, you know, like right there, you can see there's like a little nipple kind of popping up right there.
Yeah, that's the dent I was going to tell you. Which he said there was no dents, and boom, there's a dent.
Yeah.
Are you saying people don't want to watch a 2-hour video on me sanding the trunk?
I don't want to comment on that because I have videos where I'm sanding the whole video. But I think
Wait, what?
Yeah. So this is what body filler looks like on top of fiberglass. This is what bad decisions look like. But this thing here, I don't know. If you wanted to do that, I think you could fix this, but ultimately you would have to strip it down to bare metal because I don't know what's underneath there, and I wouldn't chance your new paint job that you're putting on the car with this piece here because this is kind of it's junk. It's not that great.
All right, so
Now
my first assignment is get a new trunk. That's my first homework.
Yeah, I would get a new trunk. Starting with something like that, if you want to fix it, you can. But ultimately, like you said, they're around 100 bucks, maybe 150 for a really clean one. If it's 150 bucks, that's more worth 150 bucks versus literally days of sanding and trying to get that thing straight. And you're new to that, so you don't want to get yourself into a pickle where you're stuck sanding on something and it just takes too much time. But over here now, I think this.
So I don't know if you saw or you remember, Michael Elsey came to help me patch a bunch of holes that we had in the body kit.
It's not bad. It doesn't look bad.
And he said, good luck.
Yeah, he left you high and dry. So, I mean, there's a little bit of fiberglass that needs to be chipped off, and you can see here, just ground down a little bit. This isn't bad. What we can do is we can sand that smooth. By we, I mean you. And you can sand all these things to where they look nice and clean. Like, see these fiberglass cracks right here?
Yeah, that one's really bad.
So what you're gonna have to do on these is you're gonna have to sand these down past the gel coat. Because what's happening is you can see on this one right here, the gel coat is cracking and breaking off. So all that is fiberglass, and the pieces on top is the actual coat of stuff they put in the mold to make sure that you have a nice even finish. And that's gonna have to get sanded off because it's obviously cracked and broken. When you do this, you can see it moving.
Yeah.
The fiberglass is good. I don't see any cracks in the fiberglass. It's just the gel coat on top, which tends to be a little bit harder, and especially if it's thicker like that, it'll break. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna give you a DA, we're gonna hook it up to our shop vac, and we're gonna sand all of these cracks out. We're gonna start on this end, and we're gonna work our way towards this end, because there's cracks pretty much everywhere on this thing. You can see even these are like kind of faint. These ones will be very light. We'll feather it out. Then once you get it to here, you'll do the same thing there. You'll feather it out. And I think, honestly, you could be done with that in, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes each side. And then when you're done with that, I'm gonna teach you how to grind down all of this right here, because that's, got a bit excessive, maybe. Mike,
You used all your materials.
Mike, you need to learn how to do fiberglass work.
Oh no, called out.
Just kidding, just kidding. But you'll sand this down nice and smooth. We'll get that where it's like nice and even. And then we're gonna go with a coat of filler on this, because honestly, it doesn't need much. We can use some fiberglass reinforced filler in the holes, but other than that, it should be good to go. And I think you wanna put a riv nut in this, right? So one thing we can do with that deck lid right there is we can at least align the pieces on the bottom where the supports are, and we can make it so that you can have riv nuts in this that will go into it without hitting a support.
Oh, and there's one other thing that I have. It's from the hood.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a carbon fiber piece.
Carbon fiber.
Yes, carbon fiber.
So this here, I'm not gonna do anything with this here. I'm gonna show you by sanding on it a little bit, but I'm gonna send this home with you, and I'm gonna show you.
It's all faded, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna show you how to do this at home in your tub or sink or whatever.
In my bathtub?
In your bathtub. And you can literally sand all this and be ready for paint pretty easily. Doesn't look like you have any paint delaminating. So
Every body shop needs a bathtub.
yeah, every body shop needs a bathtub and some sandpaper.
Bubble bath.
Yeah, but I think this one's not that bad. We can fix this pretty easily. And by we, I mean you at home.
Oh.
All right, well, let me get the tools and we get started.
All right, what you got there? Vacuum cleaner.
So this is cool because this is a vacuum sander. I have this from Milwaukee. Milwaukee was one of the people that partnered with the channel and gave me a bunch of really cool tools. And then you hook it up to a shop vac, and then you go over here, set it on there, and you push that button, and it starts sanding. But not only does it sand, it pulls all the dust in through those holes, and it's controllable with different speeds.
What grade are you using?
So right now, there's probably like some 40 grit on there, I would say, or maybe 80. 80. So there's 80 grit on there now.
She's
it's used.
She's tough.
Yeah, it's used, but for this, you're not gonna wanna go through the fiberglass. You wanna just take the gel coat off, right? So I'll show you really quick. It's gonna get loud.
To spare everyone the noise from the sander, Jack is basically saying to get down to the fiberglass and you'll see the cracks in the gel coat hopefully go away and just feather it out.
So now you can see here, that black line right there, where that's the crack is nice and feathered into this section here. You see the cracks are still here. So everywhere there's a crack, gotta basically do that. Which means this right here is gonna go all down to fiberglass. So once you start seeing the fiberglass, which is this layer, you wanna ease up on it a little bit. You wanna not put as much time and effort into that, right? So
what about like right here? Where
you're gonna take that all the way off.
Take it off.
I'm just showing you one direction.
Jack is saying to bring it down nice and even, and right away he found some body filler. He thinks it's Rage Gold, and this is used to smooth out the parts. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but he's starting to get past all those cracks.
And a good way to check it is to basically go back and do this. See that? You see when see how that opens up when I do that?
Just flexing it.
So it shows you like, hey, that all has to come off. So everything has to go down to that fiberglass. Because look, remember how big that crack was right there? When I flex this, none of that is showing any cracks. So you're good. If there was cracks in there, you would have to groove that out, repair it from the back side, and then also repair it from the front side as well. So pretty good, not bad. You ready?
I got some work to do.
Yeah, you're gonna be busy.
Here we go.
It's gonna be fun, I swear.
All right, it's my turn, and yes, I've sanded stuff before, but never a Rocket Bunny kit like this. Jack says most importantly to keep it level, and by the way, the sander is getting pretty heavy. I'm using it with one hand, and the other hand is holding the side skirt. Later on, I used some zip ties to hold everything down, and that was more manageable. The sanding was taking a while, and we realized that we burnt through that first sanding pad, so Jack added a fresh one, which worked way better. There was a nutsert on the side skirt that held on some extra arrow pieces, and it was in the way and blocking access to sanding down a crack. He had me sand down the top of the nutsert all the way and then remove it completely, which was a great idea. Most likely we'll fill this in and then tap in another nutsert later. I had an awesome day at Jack's. He taught me a lot about working with fiberglass, and he sent me home with this, so I have some homework to do. I got a lot of sanding and prepping to do on these panels, so I'm really excited to get these done. And I do have some carbon fiber pieces that I have to wet sand, so that's gonna come a little bit later. But right now, as Jack always says, less talking, get to work, more work, let's do it.
Got a little friend here that's actually good luck. Hey.
Now if you spend time and get everything right, it will save you labor with your painter. Don't rush it, don't cut corners. If you get it wrong, then that's another story. And this side skirt now is mostly prepped. A huge thank you to Jack Builds It. And if you haven't seen his channel before, be sure to check out his videos. We shaved the holes on this wing, especially because a lot of them were cracked. So we're gonna use nutserts on the bottom of the wing to attach it and some 3M tape. I took down the excess as best as I could, and I was especially worried that I would take off too much, so I left a little bit behind to shape and work out. So now it's time to move on to those carbon fiber pieces that I saved for last. Jack told me the best way to get to these is wet sand them with a 400 grit sandpaper in the bathtub or in the sink, and that will take off the top layer of clear coat on them, and to make sure to keep it all even. These pieces go on that RE Mamiya hood to guide the air in a certain way, and over time a lot of these carbon fiber parts start to get fading in their clear coat from being out in the sun for too long. Luckily we caught this in time before it got too bad, and this was actually pretty easy to wet sand in the kitchen sink Just don't tell my wife about that. I decided I was gonna take the parts to Fernando Reyes, aka Zeto, who installed and painted my Pandem Rocket Bunny MX-5 that went to SEMA. I absolutely can't wait to see these parts finished and painted and put on the car. I have a few more things that need to get done to the RX-8, including a dyno tune because it's pretty much set up for California and E85. It does have a flex fuel sensor, but I want to get it tuned on pump gas at the very least and drive it around on that. And I have some suspension add-ons and links to install from Johnny. Now I want to take the time and thank everyone who has subbed to this channel. If you haven't already, please consider subbing to the channel and liking this video as it goes a really long way. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.